Okay, fire away.
Just thought his ankles are fine, but his knee not so fine.
His knee is not fine.
Was it from the? Do you know if it was from that part of the
No, we don't really know when it happened. We don't know if it was in the last game or before that or what. So that's a little bit of a mystery right now.
You know the nature of the injury? Is it sort of like a meniscus type thing?
Well, they're saying it's a knee sprain, right? So we'll go from there. I don't think it's terribly bad, but we'll see how it progresses. I mean, we'll see. That's a really deep question, right? It's a really deep question.
Opinions only.
Huh?
I didn't think that.
Why is there so many guys hurt around the league? What's the reason or answer? Well, I mean, I got some thoughts on it. I think that it probably must have to do with some type of strength training, stretching, and or nutrition, right? And I would lean towards the latter. For me. No, I would say that is probably a bigger cause than people think it is. And I don't mean now. I just mean that, like, I don't know. When I grew up, I ate my mom's cooking every day. And like they were the last generation to do that, right? Anyway, let's move on. Come on. 100% we feed them great. I'm just talking about historical. Yeah. Not that for a thought. Okay. Next question, please.
You mentioned yesterday that one of the things you've learned over this stretch is that it is comfortable and fits in well at the center position. What is it that you like about him?
Just been really solid, right? Everything's been solid. He's guarded his position. He's rebounded decently. He's offensive rebounded decently. He's handled the ball up there in the high post. Made some great passes to cutters. He's finished here and there when we've called plays for him. He's just played really solid. Not a lot of mistakes.
He's been really efficient in the paint as well. Did you ever surprise you with some of those post moves you had?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes he comes wheeling, dealing, and turning and throwing them in there sometimes with a little floater. Sometimes I'm surprised that it ends up the way it is, but it's cool when it does.
Are those above the rim dive threats off the screen, are those the biggest challenge for him from a defensive perspective?
A little bit, and that's just basically a little bit undersized, right? You know, I think you guys have seen both Christian and Kim, when those guys they've done a pretty good job of not getting dunked on behind us this year for the most part. And sometimes when they throw those lobs, those guys will make late plays on the ball. You know, they'll jump at the pass and knock it away before the guy catches it or something. So it's a little tougher for Thad to do that without the size and length.
Claxton was a guy who hurt you in that first game.
Yeah.
Obviously, we look at it. Is that a problem with that, or you just have?
Well, yeah, we just got to make sure we understand the coverage and how we're going to play it. And try not to let it happen as much as it did last time against me.
Yeah, we were talking shooting yesterday before Gary got hurt. He was on cold to start the season, right? You guys have any discussions as he's been getting back to his best game?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that, he's had a kind of a series of things that have bothered him here recently, and I think some of them were bothering him that he was playing through, and I would imagine those affected him, his shooting percentage as well. So, I mean, we know he's a good shooter, and we know he can score, and just got to get him feeling good physically out there, and I think he's always got the confidence to make shots. Yep. Disappointing. It's disappointing. We'd like to get him a lot more aggressive on defense this year. I would say that's been don't know what the word is. It's been a little bit of a negative, right? Because he's capable of really getting after the ball and getting his hands on the ball a lot, and that's what we want him to do. You know, we're going to get him his shots and get him his points, but we want him to be a disruptor. He kind of fits us if he does that. But if he doesn't fit us, right? So we need to get him back. And again, I think some of that is he just hasn't felt all that great physically for a lot of games this year. So hopefully he's getting there where he's going to feel good here starting tomorrow.
You obviously without Fred and Pascal for a while, sort of got your way through that. Now you're going Scotty and Pascal. What are the challenges that both of those are presenting?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's missing two big defensive presences, right? Where we can move those guys around and get them on primary scores, especially with a rather tall scorer coming in tomorrow, right? So that's where it affects us the most. Obviously, Scotty and Pascal both handle the ball a lot for us too, right? So, you know, it puts a little bit more onus on Freddie and Malachi probably tomorrow. Yep.
You made a comment yesterday about holding to the goal line twos. How do you do that?
Well, we just got to clean it up a little bit, right? Like you guys know, I'm exploratory in a lot of this stuff and give these guys some freedom to see what they can do. And then when we get enough data from it, then we got to start trimming off some of the fat, right? So it's just a matter of getting some of those clips and showing them and starting to trim those numbers down a little bit. And certain ones are that, you know, got to come off the board here pretty soon, right? The multiple dribbles ones where you don't go anywhere and shoot contested 17-footer, like it's not very good basketball.
Is that a symptom of something else, like lack of ball movement?
No, I think it's a little bit more of we're asking certain guys to be aggressive, and that turned into their idea of being aggressive. But we'll fix it. Not a big deal. Yeah, he was out there yesterday and today. We didn't do any contact, obviously. We got 10 or 11 guys here today, so but he is out there running the 5-on-0, and they did everything really in practice today. Yeah, I think they said by the end of this week they would ramp him up quite a bit with some speed and some contact and stuff.
Timeline anymore?
I think we're hoping next week sometime. Right, one of those 2 road games next week, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see anything right now, right? Like with all the guys out, you know, we just gotta night to night it right now, and we're not really looking at big picture stuff much. We're just trying to survive the next game, right? We got again several lineup changes tomorrow. Several starters will change, all that stuff, and we're gonna have to, like I said, we'll see what happens when the ball goes up, and hopefully we can develop chemistry and make the right rotations and figure that out as the game goes on, right? So a little bit of a funky place with the team to kind of decide where we were from the start to where we are now. There's just really no judging that this year.
Is this the Utah Watanabe you needed last year?
He's playing good. He's leading you up.
3 points.
Yeah, he's playing good, and he's obviously, you know, we certainly needed him to make shots, and that's good. I'm glad he's healthy, right? Main thing, and playing very well for them.
It's a strange question, but
a lot of strange ones today. Fit right in.
It's a good day for that, I think. When a guy that you spent time and resources developing pops on another team, whether it's Utah or a guy like O'Shea over the years, do you look at that as a win for the program, or is that something that's sort of like, why didn't we do that here, or why couldn't we have kept him along?
Well, the biggest reason here is he was never healthy.
Yeah.
Right, that made it hard, but we did work really hard with him, and we put a lot of resources into him, and he's finally healthy. I mean, you guys are starting to see it more than ever right now. The availability is a big deal, right? It matters whether you're going to be on the court. It matters if you can improve, right? But he just unfortunately had too many injuries here, and he only had like 1 or 2 stretches of rhythm. Remember we talked about Utah came back out of the the Olympics, and he was really had a great rhythm, and he was killing it and making shots in preseason. And then like fifth game of preseason, he goes down, and he never, it took him forever. Then he got COVID. And it just took him a long time to ever get any rhythm. So I don't. That's all I got to say about that. I think there's some good spirit. There's some good fight at the defensive end. Seems to be they've maybe more to answer your question, Lindsay. They've seemed to found out where their role play, the roles of their guys have fit in a little differently than they did at the start. And they're ultra talented offensively, right? They can just come down and score like crazy in bunches on you. So I think just the overall spirit seems to be up and all that stuff. That's pretty good.
What do you think from Simmons?
Well, he's obviously playing a lot better, right? He just seemed like he was again way out of sync and way out of rhythm a lot early this season, but now he kind of looks a little bit more like himself, right? He's taking more shots, he's handling it, he's really spearheading their fast break, either off the dribble or throw-aheads. He's really good at getting rebounding and getting it up the floor to somebody in the open floor. But he seems to be playing like he looks more like his old self, when he was playing really well in Philadelphia. Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Seems like you guys just keep getting hit with one injury after another.
Yeah, I mean, it happens throughout the course of basketball season. We definitely didn't think it would be like this, but it is what it is, and next man up mentality. Next man got to step up, and I think we've done a very good job of just having the next guy come off and step up. For us, we have a team of individuals that can go out there and help us win a basketball game on any given night. So we're strongly and deeply confident in everybody who's on the roster and how they can help us.
Scotty's done a lot for you guys in various areas. Where are you going to miss him most?
Just his tenacity on the defensive side of the basketball, and then his imposing his will on the offensive side. Scott is a guy that puts a lot of pressure on a lot of teams just because of his abilities, and that's definitely going to be missed. But we have to figure out a way to fill that void. Whether it's Jeff coming off and giving us something, Malachi, other guys just giving us some extra push, extra boost, in some of the categories that we need him to fill the needs.
One of the things that Nick said that he's learned during this stretch is how well you fit in at center. I know you've talked about doing that more, playing more 4 and 5 as your career has gone on. Was there a point in your career, a stop on your career where you've sort of really started to settle in and feel more comfortable in that role?
I just hoop. I just play basketball. Whatever the team needs me to do, I do it. Whether it's playing, the 1 through 5. I was fortunate and blessed enough to be able to play all those positions in high school and some in college, and it kind of got me groomed and ready for some of playing in the league and stuff like that. But I just try to use my my natural gifts to the best of my abilities and go out there and just make them work in our favor as far as the team. I'm willing to do all the small things, all the little things that other guys probably wouldn't do. And that's what's gotten me to this point where I'm in my 16th season, and a lot of knowledge that's gained over the course of playing over 1,000 games. So it comes, and just got to be ready. And when my name is called, I'm ready to go out there at whatever position that they put me in and just hoop.
Some of those post moves you've shown over the last few weeks, are those things that have evolved over your career as you've played more 4 or 5, or are those things that you've always had?
Always had. I've always been a very good footwork guy that knows how to get his shot off in certain positions, and floaters and post moves, and just using guys when they're trying to impose their will on me defensively, using their body against them and stuff like that. But other than that, it's just a matter of just natural feel for the basketball game, which is what I'm trying to, help some of the younger guys with, as far as like, Christian. Just been trying to teach him, like, this is what you need to do in this situation. This is how you need to do it in this situation. And just get him to understand that, it's not always about the physicality part of the game. Sometimes it's about, being able to outsmart a guy or being able to use the defender to your advantage.
Thad, maybe to that point a little bit, so much about the length. Without Pascal, without Precious, without Scott, Otto, and then facing Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, the length they have. Do you change how you play, how you defend, or is it?
I mean, everything is a part of a scheme. We have a scheme ready for those guys, and when you play into the scheme, you have to play into that scheme to the best of your abilities, but you have to do it, as hard as possible. Outwork the next guy, and I think we've done a fairly good job of that for the most part. Obviously, like, I think over the course of time we're like 50% in wins, so it hasn't panned out the way we wanted it to, but it could be worse. And we're continuing to figure out how we're going to play in these new roles and how we're going to play with these new guys in the starting in the units and the lineups, and I think we've been doing a really good job.
So sorry for the stupid or obvious question, but how difficult is Kevin Durant to cover? His size and his length with his skill set.
The crazy part is I've been playing against KD since we're the same draft class and same high school class, so been playing against him and watched his game just continuously evolve. Like, the better. but nah, he's a great individual, a really good basketball player, Hall of Fame type basketball player. It's definitely going to be hard to guard him, but you guard him in tandems, you guard him in teams, and you make him go into certain crowds. Obviously, like, he's 6'11", 7 foot, he's going to shoot over crowds, but you try to make it as difficult as possible, and you just try to make him take the most difficult shot that you can, or you just make him pass it, and not let him get it back. So, it's just a lot of different things that you can do, but he's a great and talented individual, and one of my good friends.
They're asking 30, 35 minutes a night from you. Have you had to alter your day-to-day to accommodate that? Or?
No. For me, I continue to do the same thing each and every day. Come in, get my work in, continuously get treatment. One of the biggest things is continuously using the cold tubs and hot tubs every single day. That's put a lot of longevity on my career. So just understanding that the treatment side and the recovery side is just as big as the on-court side. The on-court stuff, I can do that in my sleep. Like, for what I do out there on the basketball court, that's the easy part. The hard part is just continuously recovering. As you get older, your recovery process is slower. So you have to understand how you're going to recover and what you need in order to get to that next basketball game, and I understand that.
Nick says he wants to see you guys cut down on the long twos.
Say it again?
Nick says he wants to see you guys cut down on the long twos. Mm-hmm. How do you do that?
Shoot more threes. Just continuously touching the paint, but understanding that when you touch the paint, that guys are going to come into the paint, and seeing those kickouts. Like, I'm a guy that I'll get the rebound, and I see kickouts. I see where the opportunity is around the three-point line, and I try to hum the basketball to that opportunity, or hum it to the next guy to where it's a hockey assist opportunity. So just trying to see those things and getting more guys to see those opportunities. Like, sometimes you'll see me out there on the court, and I'll kick the ball out and I'll point to the next guy where it's supposed to go. Just trying to help guys understand where the shots are going to come from, or where they need to come from for us to get the best opportunity at the basket.
You mentioned the post moves earlier. We were talking about the post moves. You mentioned footwork.
Yeah.
Who are some of the bigs that you watched growing up, or maybe earlier in your career that you might have taken?
Well, my dad was a big, so my dad was a 6'11", 7 foot guy, so he understood a lot of post work, and that's how I kind of began playing basketball, starting with him, working on hook shots and small things like that, and then watching him when he was actually able to still play. He would come out, on the court and play with me a little bit. After I started dunking on him, he quit. But, just getting his knowledge, and then just watching a bunch of guys, just as I kind of went with my career in the league, watching those guys with the footwork and just seeing how those guys worked and just did things, and then just having great coaches, of course.
side.
Yep.
Two.
Yeah, no, we good. I'm ready for Wednesday. Get back to it. Continue to, try to run it up as much as we can.
How are you feeling? You sound like you still got a little bit of it left.
A little bit. I've been good though. I've been cool. I've been maintaining, working, so I'll be fine.
How long was your hip bothering you? Did it just creep up after the game in Indiana, or you've been trying to play through it a little bit?
Man, I just go out there, playing hard as I can, best I can, and try to stay with it.
Nick said he'd like to see you guys cut down on the long twos. How do you do that as a team?
Either shoot the three or drive to the hole as hard as we can. I guess try to get rid of it.
Is it a symptom of lack of ball movement or lack of deep paint touches or anything?
No, I won't go that far. It's just, again, one less two, so get up threes, get behind the line, and finish strong at the rim.
Yeah, there was a stretch last year. I think for most of the year you were in the top. I think at one point you led the league in deflections, but you're top 5, I think, on the season, roughly. And this year, they're off. I think last year was 3.5. This year's 2.5. It's only one number. But do you feel like you've changed your approach a little bit defensively? You're trying to be a little more conservative, or is there something you got to pick up and ramp up a little bit?
No, I just go out there, I play hard as best I can. I try to go out there, help my teammates, try to, do anything I can to help the basketball team win, So, about it.
You guys are playing against Brooklyn tomorrow, and that was just saying how, Kevin Durant, paraphrase him a little bit, he just keeps getting better. His game keeps getting better.
For sure.
As someone that is, just a fan of the game.
For sure.
What's it like kind of playing and watching against KD?
It's great playing against him. It's always fun. Obviously as a little kid, being in middle school and high school, I've seen his whole journey. I've seen, everything throughout his career, what he's went through, he's won, teams he's been on, so generational talent, generational player. Whenever you get the opportunity to, go out there and play against anybody, showcase your work, and, showcase what you can do.
What's it like for you to see Utah succeeding elsewhere? He's leading the league in three-point shooting this year.
Yuta?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, big ups to Yuta. He's playing hard. He's playing well. I hope nothing but continued success for him, and hopefully he stays healthy.
Hey, Gary, one of the things about this team beginning of the year, talking so much about the length and the interchangeability and whatnot, with the amount of people that are down, specifically a lot of the bigger guys, Scotty, Pascal, Precious, and Otto, how does that change, if it does, how you guys approach the length of the KD or even Ben Simmons and what Brooklyn has?
You could say that changed with the injuries and stuff like that, but our, junkyard mentality, our playing hard, our scrappiness, our everything that comes with the 6'9" and guys, we all do that too. We go out there, play hard, and we're gonna scrap, we're gonna fight, compete. So, tall guys, little guys, medium guys, we're gonna go out there and play hard.
Let's go.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.